to Pickup Game, and this will be an interesting pickup game because here I am in beautiful Avon, Connecticut. Unfortunately, there was a huge storm here through the other day, and we have no electricity. We have no internet, so we're doing this from the car. But we have an unbelievable show today. But before we get to our show, what we always do is we make sure we thank the essential workers, the people on the front line, the people that are risking their lives each and every day, the first responders and those frontline workers that are going to work every day to help battle this horrific virus and putting their lives on the line. And I say it every single week. These are the greatest teammates we have. These are our real heroes. And, the people that move our food train and the doctors and the nurses and the people that are working in the hospitals and all that are working behind the scenes to try to find a vaccine. We can't thank you enough. And then just as important, please, be a great teammate. Put on your mask. All right, if we're going to beat this virus, we're going to beat it as a team. We got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And being comfortable being uncomfortable means put on your mask, make good decisions, have the discipline you need to have. And then finally, as a society, we just need to be better. We need to be better as a society. You think about the word humanity, you think about compassion, you think about caring, you think about trying to every single day doing something for someone else to impact them so that we can balance the scales of racial inequality and get back to really caring about each other. And most importantly, making a difference in each other's lives. And we've got to do that. We're better than that. And it's just sickening to me what we've seen over the last 5 or 6 or 7 months that have been going on for hundreds of years. So, 3 words that always come to mind for me is humanity, compassion, and caring. If we can do those 3 things every day and then try to do something for someone else every day, we're all going to be better. So as we get into the show, I'm really excited about this show, and hopefully we can pull it off. But we've got an interesting show because we've got 2 of the most powerful people in all of grassroots basketball, not because they've turned out guys in the NBA, not because they've won championships, because of the manner in which they run their programs and the impact that they have on their communities, the impact they have on the people that play for them, not just as basketball players, but as human beings that care about others, that excel in the classroom, that have goals higher than 10 feet. To me, I look at Keith Stevens and Etop, and I say, these 2 guys have the model grassroots basketball program, but it's bigger than that. It's not grassroots. It's just a program that can translate at any level. And then we have one guy that's going to join us right now. And I'll tell you what, I saw this guy 3 years ago, and I said the guy gets every single rebound. And he was only, I think, about 14 years old right now. And that's the Big O. Where's Onyeka Okongwu? I think we're going to pop him in here right now. Big O,
I'm right here, my man. I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm sitting in my car talking to you, and I'll tell you one thing. I saw you play at Long Beach a long time ago, my first year when I was with the Adidas people, and I had no idea who you were. I had no idea who you were, and I'm watching this game, and every time the ball's shot, you're either rebounded on the defensive end or rebounded on the offensive end or running the court or finishing around the basket. And I said, look, I had no idea who anyone was back then. I just got finished coaching at Virginia Tech, and all of a sudden, I said, that dude is a real deal. So congratulations on what you've been able to accomplish so far. What is the last 3 or 4 months?
Repeat that, please. You kind of cut out. My bad.
Yeah, sure. What was the last 4 or 5 months like?
I've been quarantining, man. I've been here living in SoCal, quarantining with my family, getting home workouts in, staying safe, putting on my mask.
And when you went into this season, at SC this year, did you think
did you cut out or am I tripping? I can't.
Big O. Hey, we're losing. Hey, how you doing, buddy? We're losing Seth. I think he was just asking you how the last 5 months have been. You obviously answered that, but when you went into the season, did you, how are you preparing for the difference between grassroots to college and now college to pro? Maybe walk us through that a little bit, the difference you saw.
Well, from high school to college, I knew I wasn't playing against little kids anymore. I was playing against college players who were trying to get to the next level like me. So I'm gonna do what it takes type of player.
Go ahead, O.
I'll work hard every day. I'll get stronger skill set. I'll trying to better myself for the pro level. I'm playing against a grown man, and I'm excited for him. I'm excited for that next level.
Seth, we got you on. Go ahead and talk to O here. He just answered. He's excited for the next pro level, but give him another question.
What'd you say? I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, he just asked you, are you able to work out right now? Kind of walk us through your daily routine.
Why can I hear? I cannot hear it. Hello?
Oh, can you hear me, buddy?
I cannot. Why can I hear? It's not. I can't hear a thing.
Oh, can you hear me? Guys, we're having a little difficulty today.
I can't hear what you're saying.
We're going to fire it off one more time. Maybe O log out, and Seth's going to try to jump back in.
All right, can you hear me now?
My daily routine, I work out every morning. I come home, dressed up, eat, and then I'm chilling out. Usually, my friends are playing video games. Honestly, that's my daily routine.
Yeah. So daily routine. Again, we're doing a third party here. So Seth, give him one more question. We got O back here, but ask him that question one more time.
Yeah, this is unique time. So like your daily routine.
I gotta go to the chat. I can't hear a thing.
And stage of your life. I mean, look at everything going on. How are you able to stay in shape? How are you able to stay ready so that potentially you can
I can't hear a thing he's saying. Wow.
Hey Seth, we're having a little. We're gonna take O off for reboot him, but let's bring Etop for a second and just talk a little bit about. We're going to talk a little bit about the program, as Seth alluded to. It's much bigger than just grassroots, and right now, with the times that we're in, these programs are becoming really community drivers and focus on, obviously teaching the racial equality movement that's taking place right now, but also staying in touch with your guys. And we bring in Etop right now. It's been a unique summer for all of these guys, not being able to be in the gym and not being able to play. Top, what's it been like the last couple of months, and how have you maintained that connection with your players and your program, and what are you doing right now to try to ramp up or keep them engaged?
We actually we're fortunate that we have a lot of very driven kids. In SoCal, we're fortunate enough to have a lot of trainers, a lot of gyms, a lot of places where guys can really work out, do their thing. All of our kids are super engaged with their trainers. They're working their butts off to get ready for high school, college, whatever their thing may be. We're also doing an event on the 22nd. It's going to be called the Magic Bubble. And again, we're trying to emulate the TBT. We're trying to emulate the NBA and have a place where we can come play and play safe. I don't think you see most of those teams out there playing right now. You see some of the teams out there playing that it's kind of crazy, but I'm not sure if that's exactly worth it for us as a program and a brand. So we're going to try to keep ours in house, no fans, just us. We're going to have our kids play against the alumni, bring in the media, and just find creative ways so our kids can have some kind of experience, especially those 2021 kids who haven't had that chance to go out there and show what they're made of,
And you're doing a unique thing where you have some guys that are playing in the pro level, some are in the bubble, some are alumni, some are officers in the community, some are working in education. We talk a little bit about how this brotherhood that you have with grassroots and the Magic. This is a way for you guys all to kind of come together and keep playing it forward.
Well, the first thing that we're going to do at our event, we're going to have a little opening ceremonies, and there's two kids that I have that are near and dear to my heart. One is Sterling Bird, who played for us in 1999, maybe 2000. And he ended up going to Long Beach State, and now he is head of the gang unit in LA. And then another is Genesis Maciel. He's a 6'9" Latino kid from Compton Centennial who played at Hartford. That's where he went to college, graduated from Hartford, and he came back home, and now he's a police officer as well. So we're going to start the event off with our two kids talking to our kids about, like, there are police officers that look like you, that are like you, that, it's not all what everybody thinks, but we're going to have those guys communicate with our kids and tell them what to do, what not to do, but also just to see that there are people like them that are in those uniforms. And so I think part of the thing for us to make things better and do things better is bridging that gap between law enforcement and the community. And we have a long way to go, but I have 2 guys that I know operate the right way, and we're going to introduce those guys to our kids. So just those kind of things, man.
And you talk about, I mean, we had Onyeka on a little bit before. I mean, to see his growth, right? We had a little difficulty here, technical. Seth lost power. But to see his growth from a guy who came into your program young, as an 8th and 9th grader, or even before that, but started to play. A lot of times we hear, hey, grassroots, there's problem here, problem there. We all know the real deal. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these kids become young men through these programs. And to watch their maturity, to watch their game develop, but more importantly, them as young men and contributors to their communities and their societies. Like, talk about that experience, and because this summer has been very difficult for everybody across the country, not just you and Compton Magic, but to not have that experience. But there's more to the grassroots programs than just the basketball. Maybe touch on that a little bit.
So we'll just talk about, you said Onyeka first, and Onyeka has been an awesome. Just an awesome case study, I would say, because, most of the time when you start off and you come in a program and you're really good, Onyeka has always been good. And I think he got ranked pretty good early. And, it's most of the time everyone's on go and everyone's on just trying to figure out how they're getting to the NBA. And Onyeka's had a journey. Like, he went and he played. He was fortunate enough to play in that national championship team as a freshman at Chino Hills. They ran through it, and it was a pretty good experience. You got to play against all the top level competition. Fast forward to the next year where they were good. Fast forward to the next year where the ball's left, and he was there on his own. Won 2 state championships, 3, I think, state player of the years. And then he doesn't make the McDonald's game, which, then he comes into being that's the step backwards that helped him take a step forwards, because I think that made him hungry, and it really made him feel some type of way. And remember, last year, going into the year, he wasn't on any draft boards. So, just watching his progression all the way from just all this whole roller coaster with him and his mother, Kate, is the best. Like, it's crazy. He's having a great year at USC, and she didn't even want him to go to the draft. She was like, no. She's like, I don't want my baby's heart to be broken. But it's just like, between him and his mother and his family, it couldn't be a more awesome situation for a young man like this and his mom, for him to be able to realize all his dreams, all his hard work. I think the NBA doesn't even know what he's capable of. We're really working on that 3-point shot. It's looking really good right now. So, I really think he's going to do special things at the next level. And I want to touch on O, and then we can go back to just us. And even O as a young player, O didn't live in Compton, but we brought him to Compton. Like, he's done he's fed the homeless. He's done a lot of community work. And part of that community work, I think, at a young age, when you see a lot of unfortunate people who don't have what you have, regardless of what your situation is, hopefully when you get in a situation that you can help somebody, you remember those times and those things, and you've seen, and you can put your own twist on being able to help others. And I think Onyeka has that foundation, that background, as far as like what the Magic has given him in the community, that wherever he goes in the NBA, whatever city he's in, he will embrace the needs of that city and embrace the needs of that organization in a social aspect, and be a great community leader as well.
And I know you instill that in your kids early on. I mean, you've done your book drive, you're donating, you're feeding people, you're doing a lot of different things in the community. Onyeka, like Big O, you gave him the platform and the foundation to where he had all of the off the court things taken care of and in place to focus on his game. Now, if you look forward, there's probably some guys watching right now to say, hey, how's he going to project at the next level? You and I have spoke. I've seen him play many times, as Seth alluded to, going back to the early Nations days. But you look at him now to talk game a little bit. He's got that prototypical kind of a stretch 5 almost, right, to to where he can defend multiple positions. He can step outside and shoot it. Obviously, he has a gift for blocking shots and timing. We've all seen that at an early age, but break down his game a little bit.
So, it's funny because obviously all the NBA teams call me, and they're calling everybody obviously to figure out all the information they can on all the prospects. This draft is a little different, as we all know. I don't think there's a clear-cut number one pick. That 1 to 10 range is all over the place with opinions, and obviously we haven't figured out where the balls are rolling right now. So once we find out what the team draft order is, I think that'll clear things up a little. But I still think it'll be a little bit foggy. The great thing about O is and O has a little bit of an advantage to some of the guys that are high in this draft because he did get to play a season, and the season that he played, his synergy is unreal. So in a time where NBA teams probably will not be able to work people out live, they're going to have to rely on a lot of tape, a lot of synergy, like the things they're showing on the screen right now. And his synergy is unbelievable. Like the one great thing about him is he's got great motor. He's got a big body. He's way more explosive than people know. And he's showing that here. One of the unique traits that he has at his size is he can guard that 1-to-5 exchange. That pick and roll, he can really guard. He'll be one of the best defenders, even at the next level on guarding smaller guys. And I think in the NBA that a lot of times, like when you're playing the new stretch, the floor spread, your bigs got to be able to move. They got to be able to spread the floor a little bit. But defensively, that's where his crazy value is. And I think a lot of the guys in this draft are upside guys. You're not so sure what you're going to get. And the beauty of Onyeka in this draft is that what you're going to get. I think he's the safest pick in this draft. He is the safest guy who is going to do what he does. Everybody else, a guy could be a star, a guy might not be a star. There's a lot of ifs out there, but with Onyeka, he is going to be a guy who translates into doing what he does right away. So whoever drafts him is going to get a guy who's going to be able to do what he does right away.
Now, and his basketball IQ is very, very high. Obviously, the program that you run. Talk a little bit about, the other guys or what you're doing. You talked about the magic bubble, but as you go into the fall, these guys, you'll stay in touch with them throughout the season. But, here in California, it seems like CIF is now going to be pushed back all the way to December. Fall leagues.
Oh, March.
March. Okay. March. Yeah, I'm sorry. All the way past the fall season into the spring. So, you're going to have to find that balance between club ball, high school ball, everything. But maybe is there talk amongst the grassroots operators right now more to do in the fall this year versus the spring because there won't be a high school season?
Well, I think obviously guys like me have to be ready to move on the fly. You got to be ready to pivot. So, and everyone's waiting on NCAA. CIF just announced their deal, but now you're waiting on the NCAA to see if there's any live period. So if there's a live period or not, or, which I highly doubt it, because of quarantine in colleges, but we just have to be ready to operate on the fly. The great thing for me is that I have a very good relationship with most of my high school coaches. We work together. A lot of the teams I sponsor through Adidas. So, whether it's going to end up being a high school structured event, or a off-season high school event, or an AAU event, we'll be ready to rock either way we can go. Just right now in Southern California, with our governor, it's we haven't been able to open our gyms yet. So we don't even know when that's going to happen as far as even no fans and having an event type of situation. But as you know, when you run events, if you have no fans, it's hard to finance the event. So, it's going to be tricky. You just got to be able to move and figure out. And we've been trying to talk of different creative ways to possibly get our kids exposure. But still, as of right this minute, we don't know where that's going. And that's why we're doing the bubble on the 22nd, because at least we can be in a practice environment, not be in an event environment, and get our kids some exposure. And then after that, I don't know where it's going, if it's going to high school fall leagues, if it's going to AAU fall leagues or AAU events, until the NCAA kind of says what they're going to do. We still have no idea what their calendar looks like.
Right. Seth had one question as we're watching the bubble there, right? Seth, we got you back now. Go ahead and fire off that question. We lost you for a minute, but you wanted to try a comp there.
Well, I just think it's really easy. I think Top hit it right on the money. He has a transferable skill, but more importantly, if you look at Bam Adebayo and you look at Big O, you got the same player. You see the success that Bam's had and the impact he's had on the Heat. And you can say exactly what you said, Top. You could say you could take him right now, plug him in, and he can do the same things. He's going to run the court. He's going to rebound the ball. He's going to be able to defend. He's going to be relentless on the glass. I mean, if you're drafting, you see a guy that say, you know what? Everyone does comps. There's a perfect comp of a guy that was underappreciated, and that all of a sudden has been dynamic. And I mean, that's why.
And he's young.
And Seth, remember, like I'm very familiar with Bam at Kentucky. I saw him play, and I'm very familiar with Bam on our circuit. And remember, even at Kentucky, he didn't play anything on the perimeter. No, he was a big, rebounding, dunking guy, and now he's completely made transformation. But he's, I mean, very similar college type game as Bam. I mean, and Bam's been, he's made transitions in the NBA, and I think Onyeka is pretty close to some of those transitions. I mean, I think his shot is further developed. I mean, his ball handling maybe not as developed as Bam, but his shot's more developed.
Mm-hmm. And I would say this too, Tope, we had spoken about it offline, but the competition level that he's competed against over the last 4 or 5 years, I mean, he's playing the best of the best all the time.
No, for sure. And absolutely. And he's used to it. I mean, I think even the way he played this year, there's things that he does that can translate to an NBA franchise now. I mean, I really think he can step in the bubble right now and be successful. I think he could play. I'm watching some of the NBA games right now. I think you could plug him in on a bunch of these teams today, right this second, and he could be successful in those games right now.
Without a doubt. Seth, you're back, buddy?
I think I'm back. I'm not sure. You guys got me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
That's great. But people have an understanding of the number of players that you mentioned there, the Juice Gross, their players, whether it's
I'm not sure. We have been very, very much more professional than today. The technical difficulties have hit us all at once. But let's talk about that bubble for a second, Tope. I mean, we've been in gyms for the last 25, 30 years, right, watching and running, organizing events. To me, it feels like a big AAU tournament. It really does. I mean, especially with everyone living on site. You're going to carry over a little bit, maybe a little beef from the games, to the hotel, things like that. But I mean, I'm watching it, and it's like last night I'm watching Devin Booker, and he's just saying, "Hey, I'm gonna get my last shot," and it was one of those. You got your two best guys defending me, but I think I'm better offensively, and he hit a bucket. But do you get that feeling a little bit? A real nice, well-run, organized AAU event.
I'm just telling you, man. Like I'm watching the NBA. I'm so proud of those guys, man. I'm just proud that they figured it out and played. And they're giving people something to watch, and they're doing it in a safe manner, so there's going to be a new protocol to doing events, and like people like them, and on our level, we're going to try to do that as well, set a protocol on doing events. But for those NBA guys to go in there and play with no fans and really not much, I mean, I know they get paid, but still, at the end of the day, it's like it's awesome to watch those guys who make all that money go in there and play with no fans and not as much stuff on the line. It seems like. Just in that bubble and making a lot of sacrifices to play for us. Us in the same way. We're just trying to figure out a way how to move forward, have an event, play with our kids, but make sure that we address the safety issues that are going on right now as well.
Right. Well, I think we're going to try to wrap this up, Tope. But one more time, let's talk about the Magic Bubble on August 22nd and where that's going to take. But obviously, it's not open to the public, but just the effort there that you're undertaking and what you're trying to do with some of your players in the community.
So, really, it just came up because our kids are dying to play. And I figured, like we can still probably get them into practice, but since with everything that's going on in the world today, let's turn this into a community event. I don't want to call it a protest, but just a celebration, a basketball celebration, and also share our voice, just like the NBA is sharing our voice. So in our event, you're going to see a lot of messaging we're going to put out in the world, and we're going to put our stamp on our messaging. And obviously, we're looking forward to sharing some of our history, some of our alumni playing against our current guys who also are very popular, giving them an opportunity to get their uniform on, giving them an opportunity to play in front of the cameras. We're fortunate enough to have some pretty popular guys in the program, past and present. So I think our message will be seen big on a big scale and a wide scale. And we're really going to try to, use our basketball platform, just like the NBA is, to spread a message. Couple messages in culture, and a couple messages obviously in safety. So that hopefully that people in our grassroots space can pick up from it. So I think we're going to have a legendary event. Thank the Lord I got Hall Pass helping me out. That's going to help me get through this thing. It's going to be challenging also, because remember, we can't have any fans. There's no revenue streams. And all the things that we do, we have to get creative to finance. So.
No, and if there's anybody who can pull it off, it's you. It's just amazing to see. We've seen programs all over the country and the loyalty these kids have, and they really want, as you said, they want to get back in the gym and compete, but they want to be part of something bigger. I think the grassroots platform, take the basketball out of it, they feel like they're a part of something bigger in their communities. And I think this can be a little bit of a movement across the country as we start to, get out of 2020 and ahead, look into the future. So appreciate and commend everything you've done with your players. It's great to have a guy like Big O on here just to see his progression. And I know you have more in the pipeline and guys that really are going to continue to show out. So appreciate you joining us today, Etop. We're going to let you go and then talk real quick about our SBC program coming up August 10th through the 14th, the Sports Business Classroom Virtual Conference taking place right now. We have an amazing lineup of speakers, presenters. This is something that we would typically do at the NBA Summer League. We're not fortunate enough to do that this year because of the COVID, but at the same time, we are going to bring it to you virtually with speakers from throughout the NBA, throughout marketing business, throughout female basketball, the WNBA, and some of the players we have there. But it's going to be an excellent conference. I suggest you go on, check it out at sportsbusinessclassroom.com and take a look.